Services, Lavazzi and who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 614. I'm Adam and hi the new. And here's Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
Careful, that's my pricker.
And Mary Lang.
Halfway across the universe, and I feel like I'm at work.
And if we had a competition, for who comes up with the best quotes, it's always Mary, isn't it? Let's face it. There's no competition. So Mary, I haven't got my bell with me, it's in the other room. Mary wins
What was wrong with mine? I was quoting King James.
No, I'm sorry. Mary wins. Right. Right then, so been back after a few weeks because August is the busiest month of all, and it's usually very unlikely that I'm ever going to be available in August. But certainly lots been going on. I'm
That's
trying to
fine.
remember what's
Don't
been going
worry
on.
about it.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just telling you. So we'll try and remember what's happened, what we've been up to during August and a little bit of September. And I know Mary's got a lot to talk about because she sort of what's the word for it? Does stuff. So right. So this week we are talking about Kablam and the Witchfinders. Do I get a ding? So I remembered.
Ding.
Okay. Obviously not. So paraphrasing about both of these episodes will be fun. Starting with Kablam, which is, as we remember, was a bit of a spoof of Amazon.
Is it?
Amazon, of course, still going strong since the episode went out. So I think Doctor Who can take a slight bit of credit for that. What happens is in the TARDIS, the Doctor receives a teleport. Because they deliver their goods by teleport, which is a really cool and quick way of doing stuff, of a Kablam man with a little gift containing... What did it contain? It was a fez, wasn't it? Wrapped in bubble wrap. The bubble wrap being the key thing. Deb wants to tell me something. So Deb's ordering for an even more interesting medium than Amazon, a thing called the TikTok shop, which has now become It's not. It's not the TikTok shop. However, she does order a lot of stuff through the TikTok shop.
I don't
so
think I have
I'm surprised if they
ordered
made that
anything.
episode now, they might call it the Tok-Tick. I've got a great video of my grandson Grayson saying TikTok. So at the age of 2, he's already got TikTok in his vocabulary. So the Doctor gets the fez and a message. All right, Deb, thank you.
Master?
A message, something on the lines of "Help me." Is it something like that?
Yes, it says
Help me, Doctor.
Master?
Yes.
I may point out the title, and I didn't notice this. What was it? 6 years ago? 7 years ago?
You're very quiet.
7 years. Whenever we did this before. The title of the episode is Kerblam! !
Yes.
But the logo of Kerblam has an exclamation mark instead of the L. So that was confusing for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Glad you spotted that. I didn't, probably because I didn't care. But moving on.
I did.
So obviously the Doctor's excited about this because it's an invitation to help. Doesn't check any spam. Just goes straight in. Arrives at the Kablam moon. One of many Kablam moons where they distribute these goods, and they quickly disguise themselves as people that are trying to get a job in the plant. Where I think it's only 25% of the staff are actually living vegans.
I think it's 10%.
Oh, 10%.
Possible.
Oh, just split hairs, why don't you?
Well, that's Master.
Yeah,
that's my job.
Yeah, no, it isn't. So they get in. And using the Doctor's psychic notebook, and the Doctor gets put out because
paper.
Oh, right, whatever. Graham is actually made the senior operative of the group while their jobs are distributed.
10% people powered company.
However, I think he gets the cleaner's job, doesn't he?
Yes.
Is that right? Pretty sure Graham gets.
Well, but actually, that was going to be Yaz's job.
But it didn't end up being Yaz's job, did it?
Right, because they switched ankle monitors.
That's right. Well done. You were watching the episode. Anyway,
Yeah, I just watched both of these the last couple of nights, although I have to admit I fell asleep during both of them.
Okay.
Did you fall asleep twice?
Yeah, because I watched them on separate nights.
Oh, okay.
Why do you watch them when you're awake or don't need to go for a nap?
I didn't really want to watch it all because I don't like this era, although I do have things to say after having watched them.
Okay. Anyway, back to the episode. So, Graham befriends this young lad, doesn't he? Which initially he appears to be quite a nice young man who's falling in love with the friend or the person who becomes friendly with Yaz. Who does Ryan go off with? Can't remember who I remember Yaz. No, was it Ryan that she becomes friends with? And Yaz goes off and becomes friends with the man with the daughter whose marriage is split up, who played by Lee Mack, isn't it?
But he's also the poster child of the
yes,
couple.
And he was really impressed with that. And of course, anything that happens down in the warehouse is the point in which nasty things happen. So unfortunately for Lee Mack's character, he gets done in quite quickly, which is a shame because Lee Mack's quite talented and stuff. But it gets witnessed by Yaz, who, when she's just about to get done, and she legs it, basically. The main boss of the plant is played by Hesman Shaw. She used to be Haley in Coronation Street. I can't remember.
No, she's not the main boss. She's the head of HR.
Well, she's really the main protagonist in regards to the companies. We see more of her than the other chap, don't we?
Yeah, I remember her from Coronation Street. Yeah. It's nice to see her.
Yeah, and I can't remember her name. She's got a very long surname.
Julie Hesmond.
Yeah, it's like a German name, isn't it? Esmondhausch or something like that. Yeah, because she was in that thing that Chisnall did with Olivia Colman and David Tennant, Broadchurch. Yeah, she was in that after she was in Coronation Street, obviously.
Oh, yeah, she was.
And I
watched 2/3 of the first season of Broadchurch.
Yeah, I think she was in the first.
But it was boring.
Yeah, a bit boring, wasn't it? A bit sort of harrowing as well, considering the subject matter of the story. But anyway, we're not talking about.
I was spoiled by the fact that I looked up who murdered. Who
That's so typical of you. Oh my God! So you didn't learn any lessons from that.
And once I knew, it wasn't interesting.
Well, yeah, because that was the whole thing that strung you along.
That's the talk of spoilers, Kirby, but
they kept putting,
it really isn't worth watching when you know who the killer is.
And then, they would not be the one,
So you won't be watching series 2 or 3 then.
Think about it. If you the best mystery things are Columbo, and you know who the killer is at the beginning.
Yeah, but they write it cleverly. But that Broadchurch is all about the viewer trying to work out who the killer is. And if you go and Google it, it's a bit pointless watching the series. Anyway, and Julie Hesmond-Hausch was in that series, yeah. But back to Doctor. She's the main sort of business representative in this. I'm trying to cut a long story short here. We seem to be getting slightly sidetracked, but. So basically, the whole of the TARDIS crew gets split up. There's a young lady who the Nipper's sort of flirting with, and obviously has fallen in love with. But we find out later, has got another plan, a sabotage plan that he wants to put in motion. But unfortunately, and this is sorry, Mary, well, this is cutting a long story short. But the rogue. Kablam men kidnap the girl and put her in a cell, while the Doctor and her friends find the classic version of the Kablam system in a small robot. So the Doctor tries to hack into this robot thing to try almost like to reset.
Master, it just occurred to me that little original Kablam robot reminded me of it was a Seventh Doctor story where they got a message, an advertising message.
Yeah.
It may have been for getting the trip to Disneyland. I'm not sure. But do you remember that Ace and the Doctor were visited
What,
by
the greatest
Ace?
show in the galaxy?
Ah, that's it. It's the
Oh.
greatest show in the galaxy.
Similar.
It's very similar.
Yeah. But I think the greatest show in the galaxy, although not amazingly brilliant, but friend of the show, Jessica Martin's in it. But it's the scene when the Doctor walks away from the tent as it's exploding and doesn't flinch. That's one of the most iconic Doctor Who scenes of all time, and sadly not so good story.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Go
this episode.
back to both of the times we've reviewed the greatest show in the galaxy. You'll discover that I absolutely adore that one.
Anyway, back to this story. So the girl's been trapped in the cell by the Kablam men, and just as the lad sort of finds her, she gets blown to smithereens by the gas that's within the popping, the bubble wrap. I love the fact that bubble wrap's used in this story because obviously it harks back to the Ark in Space when the aliens had a bubble wrap arm.
Monster made of bubble wrap, yeah.
Yeah. These bubbles a little bit bigger. Anyway, so
Master.
Yes.
You skipped over the great scene straight out of Toy Story 2.
Go on then.
Was it with everyone
riding on the roller coaster thingy?
Yeah.
That was quite a good scene, wasn't it? I thought it was particularly well done, actually.
Yes, it was.
Although when they fell down, I think they probably would have broken something of their parts of their body.
Absolutely, but guess what? It's a science fiction fantasy TV show.
Yeah, but we pushed that a little bit too far. But it was a good scene. Doesn't impact on the story too much. It was just an action scene that
It was filler.
And of course, when they get to the end bit, there's a big hangar full of Kablam men with parcels with potential explosives that they can send out to every single customer that has ordered something off Kablam. A major sabotaging set up by this lad who's... What's his actual problem? Why has he done this? It's gone quiet.
It wasn't really clear because he wanted to... His plan to destroy all of the customers to make it look like it was the Kablam company that did it,
right.
But it was because he was against the fact that Kablam was not hiring
employing
that many
people.
Humans. He was.
I'll tell you what, though, Kirby.
In the head.
The fact a person has decided to kill lots of people by way of trying to get more people employed, that would surely make Kablam think, well, there's probably best to have no people working if one of them's going to turn out and do this.
And Master. Remember how I was talking about how the logo of Kablam had the exclamation mark as the L.
Yeah.
In that warehouse, there's a poster of Kablam. It looks like a retro poster advertising them, where it's got the exclamation mark at the end.
Yes, but probably because it's retro. Like obviously companies do change their logos. Apart from Amazon, who haven't changed it an awful lot over the last few years. So,
when were you blown away? Like 20 years ago, when you realized that the little smile at the bottom of the Amazon logo was an arrow pointing from A to Z?
Wasn't really bothered, to be fair, because that
smile appears. I'm not saying bothered.
I'm just saying that smile.
At some point, someone notices.
Yeah, but that smile thing has been used on loads of different logos. Argos use it. There's a few other companies that use a similar smiley ticky thing underneath.
It's pointing from what to what?
A to Z.
A to Z. Oh. Z, Mary. A to Z. Yeah.
A to Z. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
The little arrow points from the A in Amazon to the Z in Amazon.
Oh dear. Well, that's
or Z. The Z in Amazon.
Wow.
Yes.
Waited all these years to discover that. Anyway.
No, I discovered it way back when I was using Amazon.
I think Kirby, you're probably more excited than I have just been for discovering it now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I never gave that any
discovered it now.
You just told me.
I thought it was just a smile that was also an arrow, meaning it was delivering things to us.
No, it's you can buy everything from A to Z.
Good Lord. Okay.
It's pointing at the Z specifically.
Thank you for that, Kirby.
Or
Remember
the
that
Z.
fact, Deb? That's something that probably nobody in Britain knows anyway, about the A to Z thing on the Amazon logo. Right, that might come up in the chase
Do
question
you order
one day.
much from Amazon, Adam?
I'm just telling Deb about that fact, because when we watch the chase, we like to get our answers right ahead of the people in the quiz. So that's quite a good question. Actually, sorry, Kirby, what did you say?
I don't
Was that
know
Mary?
what I said.
I was talking
It was
over.
me. I was asking, do you order much from Amazon?
Yeah, it's a very much little bits and bobs really, because
Yeah.
we haven't got any proper shops in Cowes that you can just go down and get. So like if I wanted to order some hand cream, for example, I'd just get it on Amazon and it'll come a couple of days. Sometimes the next day. I don't know how they do that when you order in the evening. It comes the next morning. That happens quite a
Yeah,
lot.
well, I find that things that I've come to rely on that a lot of local stores just don't carry anymore.
Exactly,
I can find
yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot. It's very like a safety net thing sometimes. Deb orders her hairdressing stuff from her hairdresser's supplier, but when her colours are out of stock, the Colliston colours, she has to get them off Amazon. At least they're more or less always in stock on Amazon. It just costs slightly more.
They seem to be, yeah.
And well, I use it because they're cheaper for things like the vitamins or vitamins, however you pronounce it, that my doctor wants me to be taking and stuff like that.
The most ironic purchase I think I ever made on Amazon was the Kablam Man Funko Pop.
Yeah, that's good.
But anyway, back to this story. So all these Kablam men are lined up, and they've got all their sort of delivery items wrapped in bubble wrap, and of course everybody pops bubble wrap, don't they? And that's what's supposed to kill them all. But I think he ends up, after a little bit of a chat from someone, probably Graham, ends up sacrificing himself to kill all of the Kablam men, or the doctor manipulates the situation for
the doctor has the Kablam men change the delivery address to themselves.
That's right, but that was through the retro Kablam robot, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, very good.
And I would have thought, since it's established earlier on that Charlie has been saving up to do this all at once, that there would have been complaints coming through. Apparently, it's been like weeks that he's been experimenting and everything, but he's been holding all these deliveries up for weeks, and none of the customers are complaining.
Kirby,
I wonder about that too. Yeah,
Kirby, it's a science fiction fantasy TV show.
Is it?
And after that happened, of course, obviously a couple of sad deaths in it, the youngest characters. They leave, don't they? I think.
Wait, what?
Did I miss anything?
Pretty much that's it.
Oh, no, the company changed their ways, didn't they, and decided to employ more organic.
I just found it curious that as heavily protected as the administration was, and all this, so nobody knew how anything worked, and yet this crew was able to charge right into the main office. Nobody's stopping them.
Well, again, yeah, it's true. No way.
Yeah, this is a sign.
The doctor uses the Sonic on the personnel person's tablet.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's right at the beginning when they're standing at the little counter. The doctor puts them on there. Incoming.
That's right.
Employees.
Yes. Anyway, the Kablam. I know you lot are going to pan it, but I actually quite enjoyed it. Sort of like a typical sort of Doctor Who romp, to be fair. It's a bit silly in some places, that wouldn't happen, would it? A bit applicable for the science fiction fantasy TV program, tag. But on the whole, it was okay. It was quite good fun. I still think there's too many TARDIS crew at this stage, but I still love Bradley Walsh as Graham. They should just kick the other ones out and just get Bradley Walsh, to be fair.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's what I think. What did you think about? While Kirby says what he thinks of it, I haven't got my priority jingle folder over, which probably doesn't come through anyway to you lot. Kirby, what did you think?
Okay, so in 2018, I first liked it
Uh-oh.
and then watched it 3 times, and I loved it, and now it's dropped down to a little less than liked. Tolerate.
Is that it?
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's,
It's just
There are
not.
some much worse ones to go here. And you
I
got
mean,
this one.
the first several times I watched it, it was basically new, and I liked seeing it the first time, and I got more detail in it by the time we spoke about it a week later, and then I haven't really watched it since, and then watched it night before last, and it was just kind of meh. I didn't get into it. It didn't hold my interest. The plot holes were.
It's like you knew who the murderer was for Broadchurch.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone did quite well in their acting. The doctor talks so quickly that I had to turn on subtitles.
Did you see that there was an article some time ago about Jodie Whittaker saying that if there's one thing that she would change if she could do it again was that she would not talk so fast because she realized how hard it was for people to understand her. Right. But at the time, she thought it was the thing to do.
And also she would have been directed to do that.
Okay, I watched it like that 2 nights ago, and then I listened this morning to Adam and my master and myself talking about it. You weren't on. You were at Chicago TARDIS. And someone in a comment in 2018 said that she talks too fast, and I immediately piped up and said, I understand her. No, I didn't really this last time watching.
That's one thing that she would change if she could do it again.
Maybe it's because I now have hearing aids which work. I don't know. Maybe they don't work.
Okay.
Anyway, it's okay.
It's okay. That's better than nothing, isn't it? Okay. Mary, what did you think?
Well, unlike Kirby, I did not bore myself to death with it by watching it too many times.
I only watched it one time this
I watched it when it first came out, and I watched it again about 2 months ago when we were last on, and I thought we were going to be doing another episode soon. But I haven't watched it since then, so it still was fairly fresh for me when I saw it this last time. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. To me, this is like iconic Doctor Who, them throwing themselves into, a totally alien situation and finding out, things as they went along, and the evil people, of course, turn out to be the good people. Yeah. Whereas somebody, that you never suspected or something, that is off to the side turns out to be, the problem. So it's a thinking piece, more than a scary adventure piece. But
Mary, they've done that quite recently, haven't they? The evil people, so the good people ended up being the evil person. That was, remember Millie's boyfriend towards the end of the last series? It turned out to be the spawn of the Rani or something daft. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So that there's that upending of expectations. And it was fairly complex. And of course it makes fun of things that we do with our everyday lives. It reminds me of the episode, the first, Whittaker episodes, where it was people being enslaved by their phones. Things like that I enjoy about Doctor Who, a different look at our world, having things upended, and, the mystery that they're thrown into that they have to figure out. So for me, I liked it. I think it moved along well and it was a lot of fun.
Excellent, Mary. Little quiz for Kirby. So who else from this particular episode that we've just reviewed was in Broadchurch, Kirby?
Jodie Whittaker.
Well done. Hang on, I've got to play this, haven't I? Yes. All right then.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
It's Broadchurch that made me wonder about Whittaker being the doctor, because I saw her in Broadchurch and then I saw her in another drama where in both of them she was, this maudlin housewife, brown hair and, not at all interesting. And I'm thinking, how is that going to be a doctor?
Yeah, she was good actress.
And it was after she was announced as a doctor that is when I went and tried to watch Broadchurch.
But then spoiled it and ruined it for yourself. Okay.
Yep.
So then we move on to the Witchfinders, which is going to be difficult for me not to like because I love Alan Cumming so much.
I know.
But,
I know.
because he just lights up this whole thing. He just makes it for me. It's a historical. I don't think they've really properly done this sort of period of witch hunting before in Doctor Who. So it's nice to actually that they visit it. Visit the story again. They've got too many crew to deal with in the storyline. Again, like we say, the best of them is Graham. I think Yaz works a little bit better in the third series, apart from she falls in love with the Doctor. But the Ryan is always a bit.
Yaz had a role in this one.
Yeah, she did. But I think Ryan was. He's getting more and more redundant as the series goes on.
Oh yeah.
But although it was great to have the business where King James was
his protector,
was very enamored of Ryan.
Yeah, I like that. That was quite a good angle for it. And yeah, it's basically that they arrive in the middle of a witch dunking. And the Doctor's already told the crew that she's not going to interfere, and they must not interfere with history. But as soon as it happens, she interferes, which is so Doctor. But the lady dies. It's some young lady, grandmother that dies in the dunking. Of course, means that she's innocent of witchcraft. Totally logical and stupid means of deciding whether someone's a witch or not.
That's how it was.
It was how it was, yes, indeed. And I like that. And of course, she uses the psychic paper to convince the lady who did the murder that they're some sort of inspectors, because otherwise they would have got in trouble for
Witchfinder General.
Yeah, they would have got in trouble for interfering with the murder. And very soon, during that little meeting with this woman, an undercover King James makes himself known, and of course, from that moment onwards, it's just a complete delight. So
the thing that makes this entire story is he is great.
See, I disagree because he is such a strong character. And it becomes his show. I think the story itself really suffers as a result.
Yeah, he would have made a good Doctor.
What he said in 2018 too.
Yeah, but anyway, so he basically becomes almost like an extra crew member of the TARDIS crew during this episode. The alien, it's an alien thing. It's to cut a long story short, these dead people start rising up, and they've got mud flowing through their skin, and so they end up being called mud creatures, and they're typical sort of Doctor Who.
They look so much like hemivores from Fenric, though.
They reminded me that we know that the waters of Mars a little bit, where the waters was permanently.
A little bit, but they remind me more of Fenric.
Yeah, I suppose it was a little bit like that, yeah. But they're sort of there to communicate. And it turns out that the lady who's not too evil, the one that did the dunking, and it looked like she was actually helping them, has been sort of taken over. But but she's got a bit of a slow burner thing going on, which she gradually, or this sort of alienness is sort of bubbling to the surface. So I couldn't quite work out why these aliens were so keen on getting people killed. Was it so they could add dead bodies to their
yeah, I don't think it was ever made very clear why they wanted them.
Yeah, I know they were baddies because they were in prison.
They weren't using them in any way.
But yeah, you're right. It doesn't. That kind of gets glossed over, which didn't matter to me because I liked it so much. But...
I think the Doctor also was really good in this because she was sort of captivated by the whole situation, and just delivering some great lines to the baddies, to the aliens. And I like there was she had a little jar with a thing that was whizzing around in it, which she threw at the dead granny who devoured it, and there's various little scenes in which
devoured it with relish.
Yeah.
It was it was great. Like she licks her fingers.
Yes. Yeah. Of course, there's the young girl who's lost her nan, and I think it's Yaz that sort of takes her under her wing a little bit to sort of
and
help her out.
that's why I was saying
Yeah.
Yaz did have a role in this.
Yeah, but it could have been any of the TARDIS crew to do that. And eventually, when things start getting really bad, the Doctor herself had to be getting a dunking, didn't she? We knew this was going to happen at some point. But she can regenerate, so it's not a problem. But she, I think the dunk goes down, and it comes back up again, and the Doctor's not on it because she swam away. Because she learned something from Houdini, wasn't it? An escaping thingy.
Correct.
Oh, I'll just talk to myself. So they've got these sort of like root things that come up from the ground that sort of interfere with certain situations involving the mud creatures. And watching it recently, it looked very CGI, whereas current CGI doesn't look very CGI. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me.
Didn't bother me, but it did look very CGI. It was sort of it wasn't quite like the Scribble monster from the Olympic story, where it was a while back, but it was.
I'm watching this on DVD. I wonder what it looks like on Blu-ray.
Looks a bit CGI.
Maybe worse. I'm not sure.
It's okay, but it does look a bit CGI. But cut a long story short, basically these creatures are imprisoned. Somewhere along the line, they've been released. I think by the lady.
The lady didn't. Her view of the hill was blocked.
Yeah, so
by
she cut the tree down,
and
the tree was the thing that's keeping everything together.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the dunking chair was made out of part of the tree.
I don't know if you know, there's about last year or a year before, there was a very famous tree on Hadrian's Wall. There was a sycamore tree, which everybody used to go down who visited the area, want their picture taken with this
and
tree.
Someone cut it down.
And someone cut it down, just for the sake of it, because they're utter bastards. But that tree would have been a good, focal point for a Doctor Who story that required a tree as as a key or a lock to a prison like that. But it's a shame.
This hill that this is based around is a real hill that had witch stuff around it.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
So,
but anyway, at the end,
I'm not going to look it up right now. In 2018, when we were doing this, Alan T. Butcher was commenting in the live feed all this history stuff.
Yes. Oh yeah. I'd say no. It was So at the end of the story, the Doctor finds a way of locking the prison back up again. Can you remember how that happened, Kirby?
No, because that's when I fell asleep. Mainly because it was like 1 a.m.
Oh, I didn't have to watch it then.
It didn't distract from the fact that I loved the story. I mean, I'd seen it before, so.
So you loved the story, but you can't remember how the Doctor
Doctor always figures things out at the end.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, you already said you loved the story. It's a bit pointless you say. Okay, well, I enjoyed the story. I think it's really good. It's nice, historical. Outside of Alan Cumming being in it, let's take Alan Cumming away from it, because I'm a massive fan of Alan Cumming. I think he's a wonderful man, character, and actor, and everything. Without him, it still would have been a pretty good story, even if they had another person playing King James. So, but obviously, it just put a little bit of icing on the cake having him play King James next. He did it so well. The accent he used for it was just beautiful, because it's not his own proper Scottish accent. He did a different, like a posh Scots, because obviously King James is the king, and he's been living in England, and he's lost a bit of his Scottish accent, yet he's regal, and it's just beautifully done. So so wonderful. So, the story is good. Alan Cumming is just the icing on the cake. So that's what I thought of it. Go on then, Kirby. You can.
And I don't, Mary, if I'm stepping on you, sorry, but I love the fact that you said this in 2018 was you did not realize for a long time after first seeing Alan Cumming that he was even British.
Oh, right. Right.
because of whatever accent he was using and whatever you
He
saw him
was
in.
in an American show for years.
He was.
I mean, this show went on for like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
In which he was not the top character, but like close to the top. And he never once did anything but a perfect American accent. Yeah, I assumed he was American.
He's just very, very talented.
And then there was something else he was in where he let his Scottish accent, it was so Scottish that it was hard to understand it.
But yeah, then he started doing the introduction to the PBS Masterpiece series. And you could barely understand his introductions to the various stories because his Scottish is so thick.
Have you watched him in the Traitors?
And lately he's,
Have you watched him in the US Traitors or the Traitors that have been in the US?
No,
it's on a streaming service that I don't.
It's a shame. It's a shame, Mary.
What streaming service is it on?
What is it? It's either Apple TV or it's on like Showtime or Stars or one of those that I don't buy.
Yeah, because obviously it's on iPlayer where we watched it. So obviously because most of the traitors around the world end up on iPlayer.
Yeah, they let you watch on Amazon Prime. On Amazon Prime, they let you watch one episode for free.
Yeah.
And then if you want to watch any more, you have to pay.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a good
whatever
that's a good way of getting people to watch stuff and paying for it, isn't it?
So I got to watch
Mary,
one.
I interrupted you again.
Well, no, I wasn't
you,
done.
Kirby. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I pretty much I really enjoyed the I enjoyed it a lot in 2018. I enjoyed it better seeing it last night, even though I fell asleep. I fell asleep for a minute, so don't bug me about that. It was just for a minute, but it was. I liked it a lot better than Kerblam.
Yeah, no, it's better than Kerblam, definitely. But both are really good and very different, and it shows the diversity of what Doctor Who can do.
And neither of them was written by Chibs.
But there you go. It says something, doesn't it?
Part of why they're better.
Probably.
And in fact, this one, Witchfinders, was written by a woman and directed by a woman.
Oh, right. Oh, that's probably why it's so bad.
Okay, the Traitors in America is on Peacock Prime.
Oh, we've got Peacock. I don't think Traitors on it though.
Oh, we've got Peacock too, but not the Prime. You have to pay for the Prime.
Oh, you have to pay for it, but we can get Peacock in this.
I had one of the Peacock years ago. I had a special deal for Peacock for a really good price, probably during an Olympics, 2 Olympics ago or something. And then when they said renew, it's 5 times what I was paying. I said no.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's not cheap, really.
No. Is that it, Kirby?
Yes.
Are you done, Kirby? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, before we move on to Mary, I feel if I've not realising that, because I wasn't getting anything coming up on my viewing page on Facebook, but we have stuff coming through on the live feed. Make sure people are still watching. There are good, right? We got Lillian Robin says, I'm watching. What are you watching, Kablam, or watching us? And then Brandon Moore says, sorry I'm late. My Kablam order has just arrived. Kablam spelt slightly wrong because it hasn't got the exclamation mark made into an L. And Lillian Robin says, it's a science fiction fantasy TV show, you know. So thanks for commenting on the feed. At least somebody's out there.
In there like 20 minutes ago, so it must have been.
I've got the thing up on the screen now where I can see anything coming through now, rather than the one I. In fact, I'm seeing myself about delayed by 2 minutes, which is quite disconcerting. So it means we've got to do this. Mary, what did you think of it?
Well, I know the two of you absolutely delighted in this story, but I did not. I think it was a good story. well written and all that, but well, not even totally well written. And I'll say why in a second. But for one thing, the Alan Cummings, I mean, he's amazing. He's fun, great to watch, but he steals the entire thing, which makes his performance amazing, but it doesn't, in my opinion, help the story. Because the story then comes off as pretty, bland, pretty vanilla in comparison to his character. And I don't know how many times you said at the beginning, they say, oh, we shouldn't change anything. We're not supposed to, alter events. We change the future.
Not one line
in this. They're always talking about it. And so I made a note of, why do we keep talking about not changing what's going on? And yet here we are in the thick of changing everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was bothersome to me. And the story kind of ended maybe 2/3, 3/4 of the way through. And because then we were given this endless exposition about the Morax, the whole story about the Morax and all the stuff that they're doing at the end with the mud creatures. I'm thinking we're just making this up as we go along at this point because we finished the story a while back. So, and once again, I think that they've introduced monsters where no monsters were needed. I think the witch dunking was a pretty heinous, thing anyway. It's like the Rosa Parks thing. We didn't need monsters in Rosa Parks' story. We didn't need monsters in the India-Pakistan story because the events themselves are pretty awful and need attention. Yeah. But introducing a monster I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me. So yes, I enjoyed Alan Cummings. Outside of that, I think it's totally forgettable.
Fair enough.
Is it Cumming or Cummings?
It's Cumming without the S on the end.
Okay. Am I putting an S at the end?
Yeah, you are, but it doesn't matter. We know who you're talking about.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it came to me as a complete surprise back in 2018 that he was British at all.
Wonderful.
That's what an excellent actor he is.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right then, I've got another thing coming through on the live feed, which requires a musical backdrop. So hang on. Bear with. Ian Kirk says, I am here. Cannot record audio for some reason.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exceptionally sad and probably one of the saddest things I've ever had to put out on this show.
Well, does that mean I actually get to read his when I get to it?
I don't know. He didn't say he'd written one either. I'll have to check.
Yes, he did write it.
That means you've got to do it in your best Ian Kirk.
So we'll hear an audio, but we've got a written one. Okay.
Yes. I've got a written one that I'm going to send to you.
I always have to skip it.
But you did put out some feelers for feedback on the Facebook group. Did you not?
5 weeks ago.
That means they've had plenty of time to respond.
Yes. Okay. You wish me to start?
Wait, don't start yet. Let me say to Kirby, since Kirby likes to go into the past and look up old shows, if you want to see Alan Cumming doing, being 100% American, the show that I'm referring to that he did for years and years is called The Good Wife. So
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, look up The Good Wife and watch it, and you will be so impressed with his performance.
Now, I will say, though,
if you haven't seen it, find
Bernard's Genie. Bernard's Genie. It's so
Bernard
funny.
And the Genie.
Bernard and the Genie. Yeah, but it's brilliant because it's got Lenny Henry playing the Genie, and it's got a wonderful performance by Rowan Atkinson as the baddie. It's just so good.
And Lenny Henry.
I just said that. Lenny Henry plays the Genie. And there might be some other familiar faces that weren't so familiar back then as well. Okay, what we were just about to do? Oh yeah, you were doing some feedback, weren't you?
Yes. Okay. So after I simply reused the same post and changed its wording twice. Andy Nunny 5 weeks ago said, blimey, right, I can watch the Wallabies versus Lions after Park Run then.
Dear.
And then 3 weeks ago Andy Nunny. Well, I've done Kerblam and the Witchfinder's feedback, plus I watched It Takes You Away yesterday. Well, we'll get
Oh,
to
we haven't got
Takes
to that
You
one,
Away.
have we? That's coming up soon.
And then,
That's coming up next.
Yeah.
yes, and then anonymous member 611 said, "Are we still on the 7th?" So I responded, anonymous member 611, yes, we will be recording on the 7th, oh mysterious one. And then Mr. M, good old Mr. M, who's been, and Mr. M started to put out some feedback, put feedback on here earlier today, and I got a notice that it was there, and I went and looked, and it wasn't there, so I went into Messenger to ask, did you try to do some feedback? And I had last done Messenger with him in 2013.
Right.
Okay, so Brendan Moore says, taking a 2-month break in recording was not a bad idea, as it's given me a chance to catch up.
Wasn't 2 months, was it?
No, it was not 2 months. It was 5 weeks. I have a lot going on at the moment, but don't worry. I've taken the time to fully indoctrinate my 3-month-old into
Nice.
TWL.
I love
The
that.
world of
Indoctrinate, Kirby. Indoctrin. Oh, never mind. Carry on.
No, he spelled indoctrinate correctly.
Ah.
The world of Doctor Who, even if it's only by osmosis at the moment. It's the Kerblam Man. Kerblam by Pete McTighe. This episode can sometimes come in for a bit of flack, mostly aimed at the slightly misjudged aim of the real world allegory that is it at the heart of the villain's plot throughout the story. But putting that aside, this is probably my favorite episode of the season. The Kerblam men, bit sexist, are a great and well-designed monster. All of the main cast get something to do, and it's one of the few cases where Whittaker is put into the classic Doctor Who plot of having a real mystery to solve. The guest cast are strong. The deadly bubble wrap is a neatly packaged idea. Ha ha. Although the Ark in Space got there first, a solid 8.5 out of 10. The Witchfinders by Joy Wilkinson. I enjoyed this one up to a point. The story seemed to go on for longer than I was expecting. The idea of evil mud is a good one. Maybe they should team up with the Flood from Waters of Mars. I felt that whereas Kerblam gave everyone something to do, this one had a really interesting plot for the Doctor and boring storylines for everyone else.
Yes, very true.
And I disagree with that. I flipped them. Anyway, I could have done without King James. If you removed him, I think the story would have worked better. Jodie is a really good actor, and my do they look cold here. I'd give this a very average 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Next week, Doctor Who meets Kermit. Roy, Isle of Wight.
Hey, where?
Or Low. Is it Isle of Wight or
Roy,
Low?
it's Roy Spearman, to be more
Yeah,
exact.
okay. Feedback for Kerblam and the Witchfinders.
Cool.
I would have popped this through as audio, but time has gotten away from me. I really enjoy both of these episodes as they show what Jodie's era could have been, rather than what it descended into. Completely agree. I say that. The writing of both episodes is clear, crisp. Yeah, just reading it, what he wrote. You don't get the morose pauses and stutterings of the storyline as the moral imperative gets rammed down your throat or lectured by proxy at the end of the show. Coincidentally, neither episode has been written by Chibnall. Do I spot a pattern there, I wonder? Anyway, Kerblam is a thinly veiled sideswipe at the ever-present Amazon and other online supply companies. The implication of a human staff ratio in ever increasingly automated supply chain draws some interesting correlations to the mechanization of drop-shipping warehouses, although thankfully we still need human van drivers to fail to deliver the package to the correct house. I wonder if there would be a deliberate failed delivery algorithm built into the Kerblam Man delivery protocol to add that element of randomness as to whether you got your package or not. And if I may say this an aside, that happened because Charlie was holding everything back. Remember? Okay, back to Roy.
Right.
Also, if people aren't working because computers and robots have taken most of the jobs, how do people earn to be able to afford the goods and services offered by Kerblam? Just a passing thought. Witchfinders loved Alan Cummings, he says, performance of King James in the episode.
Alan Cumming apostrophes performance. That works.
I read it as I see it.
All right, okay.
Loved Alan Cummings' performance of King James, and the episode was very close to the historical accounts of the paranoia and hysteria that gripped the country around the witch hunts of the early 17th century. The sexism was handled fantastically and sensitively as well, which I loved. This is one of the few times that Yaz actually responds and acts as I would expect her to, given she's supposed to be a police officer.
Good.
Specifically, she takes on the role of family liaison and acts in the victim of the Dunking's relatives, Willa, interests on both a physical and emotional level. This was a set of skills she progressively loses over the series to the point it's totally lost in a future episode.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about the Jadoon when the time comes. Enjoy all, Roy. Next is Lillian Robin.
Who?
I like the Witchfinder. Yeah, Lillian Robin, you heard of her?
I'm hoping she's still watching, so she might react to that. Carry on.
I like the Witchfinders, 8 out of 10. Didn't need the aliens. Same comment I left in 2018. I commented, the Witchfinders had mud, glorious mud.
Yes.
And I left a link to the Flanders and Swan Hippopotamus song, because I love that song. Ian Kirk, who I actually get to read.
Yep, in the guise of Ian Kirk. Go on, Kirby.
Yeah, I don't think so. I can get neither my phone nor my desktop computer to record audio this week. Kerblam by Pete McTighe. Doctor Who has spent a lot of stories bemoaning the life of miners. This week it's warehouse workers in a certain mail order corporation. The Doctor starts off by saying she loves Kerblam. In the end, it's a single discontented worker who is the villain. Yaz gets more to do this time, as does Bubble Wrap. A bit of a fun romp, and the corporation gets off easy. The Witchfinders by Joy Wilkinson. Hanging, not burning, was the execution method for witches, but fiction usually finds the latter more dramatic. It's not witches, it's aliens, like when David Tennant met Shakespeare. The more Excurian acts, don't ask me why.
Very good, yes, well done.
Uh-huh.
The Doctor has claimed her gender is irrelevant. This week it's a plot point. She says she would not be on trial for witchcraft if she was still a man. The Doctor meets another royal, King James, who gets to kill the alien leader. There's a lot of shouting in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And, by the way, Ian did not include a reference to the Hippopotamus song, which he did in 2018.
Yeah, but I didn't include something as well, Kirby. I didn't include this. So apologies.
This is Ian Kirk.
Yes, that's what you should have done.
Yeah.
Well, what you can do, you can do something you haven't done in a long time, and you can edit things the other way.
No.
That, I believe, is it.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
refresh
Yeah.
just to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Oh, sorry, Karen.
I just saw your face in the live feed there.
Joy.
Let me change this from most
This
relevant
makes
to all
great
comments.
audio presentation, Kirby. You commentating
Yeah,
on.
well, you're always complaining that I'm not ready when people keep posting. So, okay, that was it.
Thank you, Kirby. You can always come back after I've done the email bit. If anything arrives after, you know what I mean? Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got stuff from Andy Nunny, who begins with this.
Well, good morning, 20 megabytes. Andy Nunny here. It's Sunday morning. I'm just waiting for Zach to finish his breakfast and then heading off to church. The last few days I watched Kablam, which obviously, of course, a very, very thinly disguised version of Amazon. And I know a lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about Amazon, yet we all use it, don't we? Because it's an easy way of getting things, and it's cheap, and it's convenient. And obviously, in the future, it's gone on to become hyper-spatial. But it's interesting, this story, because you think it's really about the way that people do get abused and battered by the system. And actually, it's not in a way. It's actually the system that's crying out for help. Because, it's a system of the conscience. It's actually a very interesting thing. And the two people who are the manager and manageress, whose names I cannot remember, and it's too early in the morning for me to go and look them up. But you actually realise they actually are genuinely trying to help the people, and the person you think is the real hero actually turns out a rather nasty bit of stuff, doesn't he? He's got this young lady who rather fancies him, and well, whether he fancies her or not is another question entirely, but he actually gets rid of her just purely for his own thing, and he's going to kill all these people. He really is very nasty piece of work. But again, what they show, the whole point of the story is the way that
obviously you'll have to be quiet on this bit, because you may not be able to hear it, but
that was Adam telling us not.
Yeah, you guys, we can hear you sort of saying we can't do anything over it and stuff like that. I
know
it's about 3 or 4. Yes, we can hear you, but you can't hear him. Does that make sense? Sorry, Andy, carry on.
Everyone misunderstood what was actually happening and who was the real villain, and we're all looking in the wrong place. And it's the way the Doctor suddenly realises what's gone wrong and what's happening, and it just happened several times to get this kind of story, where it's just a realisation that things are not as what they seem, and that's what makes it good. It's interesting the way that Ryan is able to use his skills working in distribution to know what to do, and a little bit where they go down the package chute. Obviously, don't realise it's going to be quite as far as it's going to be. And Yaz, with the guy who Lee Mack plays, getting on very, very well, and they go and take the thing to his daughter to say how much he loved her. Again, I think it's, from what I know about people who work at Amazon, it is quite like that. They really do have to work very, very hard. I mean, they can make money out of it. But overall, it's a good story. It was interesting.
Oh, he's just suddenly stopped randomly. That's weird. He just said it's a good story. Right, he has got another bit of feedback coming through, which I'll play in a moment.
Which one was a good story?
He was talking about Kablam. It got to the bit, right, but with about 10 seconds left. It was a good story, and then it just suddenly stopped with a bit left to play. I'll play his Witchfinders audio in a minute, because I know that Mary's very eager to read out a bit of blurb I sent to her a while back.
Chomping at the bit, yes.
Oh, can't wait.
You ready?
Oh. To do what?
You've gone quiet, Mary.
What? Oh, you want me to read it now?
Oh, yes, please. Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I thought we were going to listen to Andy's.
I thought we were going to listen to Andy first.
No, we'll do this bit first. So there's a nice sort of break up for you to be quiet for the second part of Andy's thing.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. This is from the Mileses. Kerblam. No, sorry, Amazon. No, right first time. Kablam. Mustn't forget the exclamation mark.
No.
Sorry, I got mixed up, only they have more workers than Amazon. So the Kerblam delivery men can breach the TARDIS defenses. Who forgets they ordered a fez? Now she, he, they can attend a Madness concert. A little bit of stunt casting this week with Lee Mack, who the Colonials might not know. Well, he's right. I don't know who Lee Mack is.
I do.
Okay. Ryan says he had worked in a packing department and they wouldn't have time to write a note on the packing slip. That may be true, but wasn't it a typed message? You would have thought they would have had psychiatric tests before they started on a long contract on their moon. Still, they are now going to employ more people. Not many quotes this week. Graham, Space Postman, I've seen it all now. Ryan, halfway across the universe and I feel like I'm back at work. Whew, that was my quote. Judy Maddox, oh, 2 hearts. Doctor, courtesy of the First Lady. Very good healthcare policy. I don't like to talk about it. Dan Cooper, what you're doing practicing your lurking. All in all, an average story. Shame the 2 comics didn't get to bounce jokes off of each other.
True.
Now the Wishfinders. A historical story making people look up about this culling of old ladies. This story reminds me of the Monty Python sketch, She's a Witch. In the 17th century,
I'm not a witch.
They put this carrot on me. In the 17th century, lots of old ladies were burnt, drowned, or stoned. Well now, King James skulking around the countryside dressed as a crow. Oh dear, it's Alan Cumming playing King James, as usual in his over-the-top way. Looks like Ryan's pulled. If the real King James was like this portrayal, he must have been a right nutter. Ah, the Moraks, never heard of before or after. I wonder if the king listened to the doctor and stopped chasing witches. The quotes this week. Becca, as King James has written in his new Bible, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Doctor, in the Old Testament, there's a twist in the sequel. Help thy neighbor. Graham, or else we will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger. James, Ezekiel, Graham, Tarantino. Doctor, honestly, if I was still a bloke, I could get on with the job and not have to waste time defending myself. We felt this was an interesting historical story, if true. Next up, Reverse World or It Takes You Away. Linda and Terry Miles.
Well read, Mary.
Master?
Yes.
Master?
Yes.
Couple of things there. First of all, actually, King James did back off a little bit on his obsession with witchcraft towards the end of his life. So that is true.
Splendid.
So he was obsessed with witchcraft?
Oh, he was very obsessed with witchcraft.
Oh, okay. So that's historically accurate then.
Yes, and he didn't like Guy Fawkes trying to blow him up either.
And my other comment was, well, of course all those old women were getting stoned because of all those herbs that they had.
Now, talking of the Guy Fawkes thing, that's a good way they could bring Alan Cumming back to play King James in Doctor Who. Have him do the Guy Fawkes story.
Yeah. Well, the Master.
Yes.
Alan Cumming has been back to Doctor Who.
Yeah, but playing a different
Don't
character.
make me laugh!
Yeah, never mind. Right then, let's move back for the sequel for Andy Nunney, who is now talking about the Witchfinders for an undisclosed amount of time.
Master, let us know when we can talk again.
Will do. I'll start talking again. Here we go.
Good morning, 20 megabytes. It's Andy Nunney here again. Still waiting for Zach to finish his breakfast, and then we'll head off and serve the Lord. And also, I ought to watch Witchfinders. Now, Witchfinders, the best bit of Doctor Who is called Alan Cummings, because my goodness, does he steal this show. He really is completely OTT on this, but I suppose it is what you needed. It's been interesting to know, would a king really do that? He would normally, you'd think he would, even in those days, have some sort of security presence or something like that, and there he is on his own. And everyone takes him at, face value, because these people, they would have never seen the king. They wouldn't know what he actually looks like. He could be any old person coming and saying, I'm the king, but they all take him on trust. Now, this was mostly a good story. I thought the way, again, it's a bit like things aren't quite what they seem. You've got the witch trials going on, which of course did happen. People being ducked, and of course, yes, you drowned, you were innocent. If you survived, you were guilty. Yes, there's a certain kind of logic in that as well. But what I didn't like was the way it was a bunch of aliens who were imprisoned under the hill. That was just too silly. I think up to that point where you got Beth Savage as being, she's not what she seems, what is she actually up to. It was good up to that point, but I'm afraid it just fell away there at the end. Again, a good relationship with this time Yaz coming to the fore, using her police training skills, something I remember from 35 years ago when I was a police officer, how you were trained to deal with people, and she was able to use those skills. And of course the Doctor's always got empathy. Ryan and Graham slightly back in the background. Of course, Ryan was find himself a source of some attraction to James. Of course, James, we won't go into that, shall we? But I think you all know what I'm talking about. But some good bit, again, how many black people would have been around that country? The fact that James referred to him as a Nubian prince, straight out of Shakespeare. So I think that was a good point. Did enjoy it. It was good. Apart from the bit of this, if they could have done something slightly differently, I think it would have worked better. But until then, anyway, Until next time, be seeing you.
On the subject of how many black people may have been living in Britain in the 16th century, quite a few.
Is that the subject that we were having?
Yeah, I'm just talking about how he ended it. Black people have been recorded living in Britain since the 11th century, and also with the Crusades and everything, they would have travelled back with the king and his entourage via the Crusades. So, yes, there have been black people living in this country for at least 1,000 years. So that hopefully will answer his question on that score. Yes, Mary and Kirby, you'll have to listen to the show to discover what Andy was talking about. But basically, he enjoyed it.
Good.
That's one all quite
and
right.
next time we record, you can figure out a way we can hear.
Yeah, I got an idea about that, and that will be to when I get an email from him, try and send you the audio files he sends me, so you can listen to them in advance. Is that okay?
Yes.
No? Okay, well, maybe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, yes. Right then. Lillian Robin says me in relate to when you lot said Lillian Robin and I said who. And I just tried to provoke her into a response which worked. So, very good. Okay. Anything else come through before we move on?
No.
Okay. So, it enables me to move on to the next section of the show, which is Doctor Who News. Well, I was actually jumping a little bit further ahead than that. I don't think there is any, to be fair, but I'm going to have a look anyway. Mary, you went to Chicago TARDIS. Have we done a show since your Chicago TARDIS?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't go to Chicago TARDIS this year until the end of November.
So we'll do a show about it.
The Chicago TARDIS I was referring to was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have got stuff to talk about in the future then. There is a series coming out soon on Disney Plus called The War Between the Land and the Sea. I don't know if there's a date for it yet, and I'm not also sure.
They're putting out teasers about it, but there's no time that we're going to get to see it.
No, but I'm not even sure whether I can be bothered to watch it. Okay. What on earth was that?
I was coughing. I'm sorry.
All right, I wondered what it was. It sounded like a sneeze. Yeah, try not to cough into the microphone. You know what happens, Gobin? It's very disconcerting for our listeners that when you do, you go very quiet and your volume gradually increases to its normal level.
Well, it's me.
Hey? Right. Did we do, on the last show, Prentice Hancock passing away? I think we did. And there's a Doctor Who magazine with Billy Piper, Is the Doctor ? Which is the correct title of that particular magazine. Maybe available at who1.co.uk, we don't know.
Is that who1.co.uk?
Yeah, indeed. Season 13 gets Blu-ray release, Kirby.
Yes, I know. I have it on pre-order.
It features Terror of the Zygons, Planet of Evil, one of my favourites, Pyramids of Mars, one of my favourites, Android Invasion, one of my favourites, Brain of Ormus, one of my favourites, and The Seeds of Doom, one of my... It's a great series, that one.
Basically, it's got it is the best of Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, some great things in all of
it. I mean, that is just a brilliant
Doctor Who at its prime. I think that's what you were trying to say, wasn't it?
Okay. Yeah, and it will be coming from Amazon Prime. Yes.
There's Doctor Who
or is that Kerblam?
Thank you. Doctor Who magazine 619 also features Billy Piper on the cover because it's highlighting the Big Finish stories.
Everybody's buzzing around her and this mystery of who's Doctor.
Well, and keep in mind she was in Wednesday.
There's a great cast in Wednesday. I haven't seen it, but Deb's. Have you been watching Wednesday, Deb? Deb's going to be watching Wednesday. I've seen Catherine Zeta-Jones is in it, and who else is in it? There's some real big names in it.
I know that I believe they've released the second half of the first season or the second season, but I haven't seen the second half yet.
I haven't seen any of it, but I know it's quite iconic. I'm not a great fan of the Addams Family. There's even been another issue of Doctor Who magazine, because that's all they're reporting on Doctor Who News, featuring Sylvester McCoy, a friend of the show, a friend of FantasyCon, a friend of Deb on the front cover. Well, he's sort of a friend of yours, isn't he? You got a hug off him, Sylvester McCoy. Yeah. So yes, something about the Seventh Doctor. So that's it for Doctor Who News. Basically nothing.
Yeah.
Unless you've heard anything, Kirby.
Yeah.
No, I've seen nothing.
Other than constant teasers about Billy Piper and teasers about the land and the sea.
I know.
I haven't even seen any teasers on the land and the sea thing.
Well, I haven't heard anything about them not going to do any more Doctor Who. I know Russell T Davies and the Bad Wolf people are in the process of bringing some other productions to our screens, but I think that Doctor Who is likely to be the sort of like the creme de la creme of what they're doing. So I think that they're just sort of writing some amazing stuff to bring, and when something is about to happen, we'll find out what's going on with the Billy Piper situation.
I have read that things are on a pause right now while Disney decides what they want to do. That's another thing I've heard,
Mary. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently they've got a length of time that they've got to decide whether they're going to do another series or not. And when that time expires, then they can essentially move to another network or another streaming service as a partnership. There's a few of them out there.
And I still think that whatever happens, everything is going to be combined for the rest of the world the way that you guys in Britain have all of Doctor Who available in one place.
Yeah, that would be great.
We have it had it in 3 places, and we no longer have HBO Max version at all. Yeah. And by the way, Mary, I wanted to ask you, how did you watch these 2?
Because I watched these 2, like I said, almost 2 months ago, and I watched 2 more, and then now I can't watch anymore. So I've got my notes for the next episode that we do, because I was able to watch 2 more, but now it's all gone. So I don't know what I'll have to
go to the library or something.
I'll have to do it all from memory.
Or you could go to the library.
No, the library doesn't have any.
Really?
Really, yeah. The library has like some like classic ones, but that doesn't have any of the new stuff. I found that interesting.
Okay, so we're going to move on to not so much what we watched this week, but what we have been watching that stands out in our minds that I can remember in the last 6 weeks, essentially. Because all I've been watching on telly is lots and lots of football, as Deb would allude to. Just sort of put her off football a little bit, to be fair. Because there hasn't been an awful lot of...
lots and lots of baseball.
Well, yeah, for you maybe. But, there's not been an awful lot of things, apart from some great comedy programs. What was that one we watched? Was it Here We Go? Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's a series on BBC called Here We Go. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I watched it.
It's brilliant.
It is.
It's almost as brilliant as Detectorists, but it's just so good. And the 3rd series is just finished on BBC, so we're just hoping for another Christmas special. I don't know if there is going to be one, but hopefully they're not finishing. It didn't feel like they were finishing it, but it's just brilliant. What a great show. So that's the thing that stands out among what we watch on the telly outside of dating reality shows, and the Great British Bake Off has just started back up again. I must admit, I do find all that
because I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah, it's just started on Channel 4. I mean, there's a lot of Bake Off derivatives and similar programs that I find really boring, but the Bake Off itself they don't tinker with the format. I can stay engaged with it.
Is it the same? Is it Noel and Allison again?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And the same with Prue and Paul as well. It's the same line. I thought one of them was leaving. I thought Prue was going, but
she said she was going to do one more season and then stop.
Yeah, this is the one. There was no Doctor Who reference to one of the episodes. I'm pretty sure they did a Doctor Who thing at some point. But yeah, so that's just started. We've been watching for the poor, but because there's nothing else on, dating shows. Big Brother's about to start soon. Strictly Come Dancing's coming on soon. There's a lot of good things coming up. There's the Celebrity Traitors is coming, then it's the Real Traitors in the new year. And I think there's a Canadian version of Traitors, which we haven't seen come up on iPlayer yet. So it's mainly sort of throwaway TV. But in the cinema, we saw, and I can't remember whether it was before or after our last recording, but the Fantastic Four, which was Fantastic Four First
I loved
Steps.
I loved it.
Yeah. You've seen it now, have you? No.
Yes.
It's if you put the other versions of the Fantastic Four, on the back burner. I mean, I must admit, I got engaged with the original ones. They were really good stories, but Chris Evans was fantastic, hence he became Captain America, and Jessica Alba was just drop dead beautiful. But Isabella said that it was she has bad experience doing the film, so she doesn't like the originals off the back of that. But this new version is it's different. And they've done a great job of making the scenery look like the cartoons, and I think it's set in an alternative universe.
Yes, it's a retro future 60s, which I love.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Although what's the
you think
hairstyle
Pedro Pascal?
Pedro
Pascal has had some criticism, I believe.
No. The invisible, what's her character's name?
I don't know.
The wife of.
Yeah, she's played Princess Margaret in The Crown, didn't she?
Yeah. Well, anyway, in that retro future, all the other women have 60s hairstyles except her.
Oh, okay. Don't think that matters, but no. It's a really well done homage to the franchise, and it's just a really, really good film. So the next one after that was The Life of Chuck, which was a very arty film featuring Tom Hiddleston as Chuck. I think it's one of the things you have to watch, because otherwise you're going to give away the gist of the story by doing what are we doing now? Criticism of it. I personally really enjoyed it. Mixed sort of messages from other people that come along and watch it. It could be a bit. Just concentrate when you watch it. Basically, it's. I can't really. I wish I could tell you what it's about, but it really is worth watching. It's
Probably
it's
about
a work
2
of
hours.
art. Some people have been calling it a masterpiece. I wouldn't take that away. I think it could win Oscars. It's a Stephen King story, so he knows how to write.
Okay.
Trust in Stephen King. It's not a horror story, but it is a very good, fascinating story. And there was a bit of a break after that by having to do about 8,000 weddings and a couple of shows in the interim.
That's good.
No, it isn't good. I'm old.
Money.
And then we're still doing it now. And then we arrived at Freakier Friday, which after watching a thing on the One Show featuring Jamie Lee Curtis and there was someone else that was with Jamie Lee Curtis on the same episode who disappears in my mind. Jamie Lee Curtis talked about how Freakier Friday came about, and it was quite a funny story where she was asked by a fan, saying, when are you going to do a sequel to Freaky Friday? And she sort of, in a jokingly sort of way, so when Lindsay Lohan is old enough to have her own teenage child. And she said, well, she is old enough to have her own teenage child. So, we could do something then. And that's how they came up with Freaky Friday. It's a slightly more over the top version of the original, but it's very good, and lots of beautiful little in jokes, and Lindsay Lohan is absolutely superb, as is as you would expect Jamie Lee Curtis to be. It's really, really good fun Disney romp, brilliant, and I think we all went to see that one and thoroughly enjoyed it, because a lot of sequels are not quite there. This one does, does pick up the baton, if you want to call it, and it's worth going to see if you haven't already seen it, especially for the little in jokes and cameo appearances from people and stuff like that.
I'll wait until it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, you probably have to wait until it's on Disney Plus. And more recently, which was the other day, we went to see a film called The Roses, featuring Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Who happens to be one of my relatives, and Olivia Colman, who has been in Doctor Who.
Master, everyone's one of your relatives.
No, well, true. But these are only the ones.
Olivia Colman has been in everything.
She has.
Yes.
She
said that.
They both executive produced the movie, and it's basically a remake of The War of the Roses featuring Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. Is it Kathleen Turner? Which was made about 30 years ago, I think. It's pretty good. It's been sort of some of the jokes have been changed. The storylines, background storylines have been changed. It's the only thing I found with it. I was waiting for the bit where they start falling out, because that's when it gets really, really funny. But most of the film, they're in the relationship, and they're sort of getting successful and stuff like that. Whereas the original War of the Roses, about halfway through the film, they sort of started falling out, and that's when it became funnier. There are funny bits in it before they fall out, but it was just funnier when they do fall out. There's a certain actor called, I don't know if you heard of him, Ncuti Gatwa, who plays one of the family friends in the movie, and he lights the screen up as usual. I beg your pardon?
Isn't The War of the Roses the one with King Richard III?
No, not that one. You know what it is, Kirby. Stop being silly. But yeah, I would recommend going to see it, because it's just unless you obviously if you've seen War of the Roses recently, then don't bother. But if you haven't seen War of the Roses for about 30 years or whatever, how long it is since it came out, then it's worth seeing. Pardon? It's called The Roses, but it's based on the book, The War of the Roses, of which had a Hollywood movie made featuring a brilliant performance by Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner as the Warring Roses. Both films are great. I personally think the original one is better.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay, that's good to know.
But like I say, it's worth watching. So that brings me bang up to date with the stuff I've watched, apart from something I watched today, which was odd thing, a dating program called Naked Dating or something like that, which is a series 2 featuring Ryland Clark, who's been in Doctor Who as the main host, thankfully keeping his clothes on. That's on Paramount Plus, but I don't know if you'll probably get that one in America, to be fair. And that concludes what I'd like to talk about, and I'm trying not to interrupt anyone, but I'm sure somebody's going to say something that reminds me of something else I've watched.
Did you watch Superman?
No, not my cup. Not sort. I've sort of lost interest in Superman once Christopher Reeve died, to be fair.
Please, Master, please give the new Superman a chance. It is really, really good.
I'm sure it is. I'll wait till it appears on. It's going to be Netflix, isn't it? If anything, Netflix seem to have the DC stuff.
I don't know. I don't know who owns him right now.
It'll probably be
DC. DC own it, but it's where DC things appear, and DC stuff tends to appear on Netflix, or you have to buy them on.
Well, it is not the Superman that we've had for the past.
It's a reboot.
It's not the reboot at all.
Oh, okay.
It's back to a more classic Superman. It's very, very good. Okay. I loved it.
So that's a review of Superman.
I saw it in the theater.
But before you embark on your proper thing, I just want to say, Ian Kirk says, I saw The Roses yesterday. It has an example of Chekhov's pistol, where a pistol is seen early on and is used at the end. It's very good.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's not good. I love the story that it's based on, The War of the Roses. So I'm happy to watch it. It's just done differently, with a great cast, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But if I'm going to compare the two, I'm going to say that the original War of the Roses is better. Kirby.
Yeah, I'm still trying not to make any more King Richard III jokes. Anyway, things I've seen that stand out to me because I didn't make any notes. K-pop Demon Hunters. Love it.
Right.
If you have not seen it, it is great. Do you know what K-pop Demon Hunters is?
I know. I've sort of heard of K-pop. It's something similar to anime, isn't it?
Well, it's an anime show on here. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Or it's a movie.
Okay.
But it is set in Korea with a K-pop girl group and a K-pop boy group. But the girl group are demon hunters and the boy group are demons. And the songs are great. It's a lot of fun. You give it 3 minutes at the very beginning, and it's animated, and
Okay.
you'll know whether or not it's for you or not.
Okay.
But okay, and I've watched the first half of the second season of Wednesday. Loved it. Just need to find time to watch the second half. Started a rewatch of the Matrix films. Got a Blu-ray of all four, and it's right here in front of me. See, and just got from one of the used book / DVD places. However, this was sealed in the plastic wrap. One of my favorite movies, which bombed the box office, got a Blu-ray copy of John Carter. Absolutely love that movie because it is so faithful to the source material. John Carter of Mars, and when it came out, it failed horribly because people said it was derivative. No, everything that people said it was derivative of were derived from its original story, which was who wrote it? Anyway, hang on, let me.
Do you want me to play some lift music?
Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Okay.
So those are the main things I've been watching lately. But after basically ignoring it ever since I bought my second virtual reality headset last January, I played with it quite a bit in January and a little bit February, and then I basically ignored it for a while, and now I'm on it practically every night because it's much better quality than my first one. I play with a friend in walkabout mini golf at least once, sometimes twice a week. So doing a lot in virtual reality. Got Meta's Plus thing where they release new games for a lot less money when you pay them in advance, of course. Got a bowling game last night, so virtual reality bowling, which is very, very good. And I recently discovered how to watch old 3D movies, and even some newer 3D movies on it, like Vincent Price, House of Wax, which you can see in real actual 3D in it. And someone converted 1959 Vincent Price House on Haunted Hill into 3D. It was not originally released that way, but it was one of those gimmick movies where if you saw it in the theater, a skeleton would come out of the screen over the audience. So, and there's lots of 3D stuff on YouTube where I'm not talking about 360 stuff. I'm talking about true 3D stuff where you're seeing something different in each eye. And you're seeing things in 3 dimensions. Lots of people have taken old ViewMaster reels and converted those so you're seeing them as if you're seeing them in a ViewMaster and stuff like that. And that's a lot of fun. I'm basically on my VR headset practically every night.
Wow. I must admit I haven't really dabbled in VR. We have got, or did have, a headset that we used at the convention, but I never really tried it, and I don't know where the headset. I think the trouble with the headset, it kept on losing charge, so I must get another one from somewhere and have a go, because I've still got my PS4. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have it for, but yeah, I really do need to dabble in a bit of VR.
Yeah, I don't know much about what's available on PlayStation. I do know you can also play Walkabout Mini Golf on the PlayStation. But it's available on several different platforms. But Walkabout Mini Golf is one of the absolute best games I've ever played. I'm not a big person on playing games, but they have taken the concept of mini golf, but when you're in VR, you've got real world physics going on. Plus, they've changed the physics in some places. Like there's a course which is your ball sometimes turns into an ice cube and slides like an ice cube. And there's another one where some of the obstacles are laser beams, which will slice your ball in half. And they just recently released the most recent course. Actually, it's the most recent course is a set in Tokyo, but the detail is just incredible, and it's so much fun. I've posted, at least on Instagram and sometimes on Facebook, videos of like holes in ones I've done and stuff, so you can check those out. So that's what I've been doing. And I also use the VR headset for exercise. I need more exercise. I need to lose weight, and I'm using it to help me remember to exercise. And I exercise while wearing it, like batting off various things or doing the lightsaber stuff. And you can work up a sweat.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm attempting to lose weight, but I'm just doing it by having a less one. I don't eat in the evening as much as I don't eat. I have a set amount of chocolate because I can't have a day without a little bit of chocolate. So I have a set amount of chocolate and I stick to that every day. And I don't drink as much alcohol and a few other bits and bobs. So I have a set. I make my own packed lunch, and it's a set amount of stuff within that packed lunch, and it does fill me up. So I don't need to buy lots of extra stuff like I used to do. So I'm doing things like that.
Alcohol is sneaky. You don't think you're drinking, but alcohol turns to sugar.
Yeah.
I no longer have any wine, beer, or anything like that.
Oh, we have a glass of wine now and again. I must admit, I do get a bit tempted at bedtime when I'm not tired. I need to get to sleep, so I might have a something spirit based. But I used to have what alcohol would do to me. It make me hungry. So now I'm being very strict on myself that if I do have a sip of alcohol at bedtime, like a toddy to get me off to sleep, I go to bed because that's what I'm drinking it for. I don't have anything, so that makes a difference. It sounds like I drink it every night, but I don't. But if I do have something just to have a little bit of an edge to give me a little bit of sleepiness. Most of the time I get sleepy if I'm just watching my favourite programmes. So it's because I've been working. I might work.
All I have to do is watch some Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who, and I'll fall asleep.
No, don't be silly. Although I watched the England football game last night, that was extremely boring. So I did nearly fall asleep. But that's that. I just sort of. That's just me. But what I do take in the mornings, CBD, extra strong CBD, or just 8 drops of that. That takes the edge off my arthritis. It removes my anxieties, or some of it. And in the evening, I usually feel content enough to go to sleep, and then I have some really fun dreams.
If you think that it's helping you, I will not discourage you. However, there's no science behind it whatsoever.
Well, that's very true, but I don't understand why there's no science behind it. But it works for me, and I didn't expect it to. I thought, okay, I'll try it out.
A lot of good medicine works more psychologically than actually.
Exactly.
That's true. Honestly, I do believe that. But my arthritis, when I've sort of run out and I've maybe have a week or so without taking it, it comes back. And with the CBD oil that I take now, it certainly makes me. I'm grumpy, but it makes me slightly less grumpy. And it helps.
We can all attest to the fact that when we're in pain, and then we end up taking, whatever we take for pain, whether it's paracetamol, Tylenol, whatever, we already start to feel a little better because we took something, so there's a psychological component.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I remember, when I was a kid, we subscribed to, Consumer Reports, and the first Consumer Reports, report about acetaminophen, Tylenol, they couldn't find that it did anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it does nothing for me, but maybe it does nothing for me because I read that when I was 11.
Yeah.
Anyway, we must move on because I think Deb expects this show to be done by 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, sorry. When you talked about golf, Kirby. And when you talked about golf earlier on, Kirby, it just reminded me of the film.
We still need to hear from Mary.
I know, we're getting there. I'm just saying. It just reminded me of we watched the Happy Gilmore 2 film that was on Netflix featuring Adam Sandler and a massive load of cameo appearances. Really good fun movie, that, especially the cameos.
I play mini golf with a couple of friends, and they're always bringing up Happy Gilmore and that Bill Murray movie, and I haven't seen either one of them. So
Happy Gilmore is good. Happy Gilmore 2 is good, but you have to like Adam Sandler's comedy. He always has his kids and his wife in every film he does now, but so let's see if we can spot Adam Sandler's family in this movie. It doesn't take long, by the way, when you do. But this second film got a great supporting cast of cameos, as a lot of them are professional golfers that we would know anyway, but it's also got John Daly playing one of the characters. He's an American golfer. But yes, we enjoyed it, but you have to don't bother watching it if you don't like Adam Sandler's comedy.
Don't worry, I'm not going to bother watching it.
One of his films is one of my favourite films of all time. It's a film called Click. That it has got a very small amount of Adam Sandler's comedy in it, but it is just a lovely story, time travelling type story, and Click. Watch it. It's got a performance by an iconic American actor in it as well, who plays a really good cameo. Anyway, sorry, Mary. Go on. I'll let you have the mic.
Okay. As a nurse, in my years of, administering medicines to people, quite often doctors would, when I would go to them and say, we gave this person this medicine, they're complaining it didn't do them any good, or someone who's a chronic, pain relief seeker or whatever. Sometimes doctors would prescribe that I give a couple of cc's of just saline solution into their IV, and then, assure them, that, okay, that should work for you. Just use language that is really going to help them feel like they got something. And I tell you, 9 times out of 10, these people are like, great.
I used to take a thing called hemp oil capsules, which did absolutely nothing for me. So I just tried
the sugar pill thing,
which is supposed to be a similar thing. But then I had this a Strong Life CBD oil, and suddenly, it just seemed it works. I mean, even if it is psychological, which I don't think it is, it certainly does a job for me personally. I'd say to other people I'll try and recommend it to, so I can't guarantee it'll work. But anything, it's a homeopathic thing, and most homeopathic things don't work.
No, it's not homeopathic.
Well, I think it's homeopathic.
Homeopathic is a completely different thing.
Well, it's sort of organic medicine that's based from the cannabis plant that doesn't make you high. So I certainly don't need to be made high, but it works for me, and it certainly works for some other people that I know have used.
Yeah, no, the stuff that the CBD stuff does not have any hallucinogenic component in it.
No, it doesn't.
But you have to be 18 years old in this country to use it.
Yeah, you do here too.
Oh, you do, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mary, what have you been doing other than sports? What have you been watching?
When it comes to things I'm watching, I'm pretty much wasting my time watching I watch baseball, and I watch, my usual Cleveland Guardians team, and it's a complete waste because they're not going to make it into any, wonderful position this year. In the past, they've been so good, but they have the combination of trading away many of their best players and then others suffering injury. They're just not in a good place, but I'm so in the habit of watching them and doing embroidery while I watch them that, I do it anyway, even though it's like, okay, I know this game isn't going to take me where I want to go. So that's why I do a lot of watching. Because the teasers were so, wonderful, I did tune in to watch the Thursday Murder Club, which has all these British big name people in it, Helen Mirren and, Pierce Brosnan, and the cast just goes on and on. It's all your geriatric stars. Boring, so boring. I ended up kind of whizzing through it because it just was not working for me. So if anybody's thinking of watching it, be ready. It's very boring. I have been doing a lot of reading. For some reason, I'm in very much of a reading mode. And the series of books that I have been really, really enjoying, is called the Murderbot Diaries. I'm a science fiction reader, so I do read a lot of, like Doctor Who and all that. But I can't even say how I learned about these. I think I read a review of the books and said, "Ooh, that sounds good." So I started reading them. Then I saw that on Apple TV, they've made a series on the Murderbot Diaries. And I understand it's a very popular series, but I don't get Apple TV, so I have no idea. But the books are so much fun. They are space opera. This all takes place out in spaceships and other planets and all this other stuff. But it goes into it's told from the viewpoint of, a robot that is built to be a security unit. That it's hired by a company to defend the people of a company that want to go to a planet and explore it and set it up for living against any other company people that want to come and take it over and whatever. So he's called a murderbot because he will, without feeling, without anything. He's just programmed to murder anything and everything that tries to threaten the people of the company that he was sent there to protect. Well, this murderbot, somehow his wiring got crossed, and he got rid of that thing, that makes him an unfeeling and what can I say, that doesn't pay any attention to how the people around him, what they're like. So he tells his story, of being sent on these missions, but he likes the people, and the dilemmas that they get in, that he works his way of getting them out of, are really good adventures. And at the same time, he tells his story very sarcastically with a lot of humor about how humans are typical, how he has to do things just to make sure that his own people that he's protecting are not going to kill themselves because they do really stupid things. It's just so much fun. And there are several books. None of them are very big, which I guess that's why they're called Murderbot Diaries. But if you start at the first one, you're going to be hooked, and you're going to be following this guy, robot, whatever. It's not a he, she, or it's more of an it. But its attitudes and the way it works with other robots is so funny, and the way it defends its humans is so funny. So I highly recommend the series to anyone who might hear this and wonder, or if they want to watch it on Apple TV, and let me know what they think of the dramatization of this, because like I said, it's turning out to be popular on there. So that's mostly it. And right now I'm also reading a sci-fi book called Lilith's Brood, which is a woman who is one of thousands of humans that are rescued from Earth when a major war like burns out all of Earth. They're rescued by an alien species who then now is working with them to try to establish, try to help the humans reestablish themselves so that in the thousands of years that have passed and Earth is now back pretty much to its native state, they want to send the people back to Earth. But how the people react to these extraterrestrials, these aliens, is interesting, and how the aliens deal with them is very interesting. So I'm in the middle of that book.
Cool.
Enjoying it. So yeah, that's me doing reading. In terms of Big Finish, I still am a member of the Doctor Who Media Review group, because they assign things to read, things to listen to. The things to read used to be Target novels, but they've pretty much run out of those. So now they're into assigning graphic novels and comics that are Doctor Who oriented. And I'm not too fond of those, so I don't look at any of those. But it's also assigning TV episodes. And funnily enough, the episodes that it assigned to us this last month is The Witchfinders.
Oh, wow.
So nice to have an edit. And the audios that are assigned come from the Companion Chronicles. Which,
right,
if you remember, back when you got some of the stuff from me, you probably have some of these.
Probably, yeah. Not aware.
These are First Doctor stories. There's 3 of them, and they feature the First Doctor and Peter Purvis when he was the companion. And Peter does a great job of vocalizing the Doctor. I mean, I think when really? He's the Doctor, he absolutely sounds like the Doctor to me.
Wow.
Because the Companion Chronicles don't feature the actors who play the real doctors. They're usually because they're about the companions.
Yeah.
So it's mostly about Peter and
it's kind of hard to do a Hartnell nowadays.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we did know that, Kirby.
They have
Spoilers.
They have regular actors doing the doctors now, but these were done back before they started having, these more regular actors doing it. Well, it's like Frasier doing the second Doctor. He does an amazing second Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now they have somebody that regularly does the second Doctor for their audios.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to those the First Doctor Companion Chronicles, and so I'm still keeping up. Trying to keep up somewhat with Doctor Who. But in the US, Doctor Who is like, it's like nobody heard of it anymore. I wear my Doctor Who t-shirts and absolutely nobody responds. Nobody says, oh, I know what that is, or I know what that means, or anything anymore.
Don't worry, we can be an exclusive club again.
Yeah, very exclusive. Well, when I go to Chicago TARDIS, I mean, we're going to have the 9th Doctor. We're going to have the Fugitive Doctor. We're going to have Susan Smith. From this current series, and we're going to have some other people from, past Doctor Who. I have been a while since I checked the site to see who else is coming, but, so that's kind of my only, real Doctor Who connection anymore, is doing this media review and going to Chicago TARDIS.
Well, that's good. Anyway,
I don't know what is it like in where you are, Adam? I mean, are people still just as excited about
Doctor Who fans always love Doctor Who. Obviously, with Shooty going and there being a hiatus, and we're not knowing who the next Doctor really is, even though people think it's Billy Piper, it's just sort of settled down into a little bit of almost like a winter but it's still there. Doctor Who fans still love Doctor Who, and they still appear out of the thin arch. You thought, oh, you like Doctor Who? It's like so Lego fans, you don't know who they are until they go, oh, look, a Lego build. It's just.
But I mean, that's probably why Disney is probably kind of cool on picking it up again.
Essentially so. I mean, if I took my Dalek, which I attempted to sell on eBay, with somebody supposed to have bought it, but they haven't sent me any money yet. But if I put it out somewhere, people will want to stand next to it and have their picture taken with it, and they may not be Doctor Who fans, but it's a Dalek.
You're not keeping your Dalek? Why?
Because I need money. I'm skint.
But you wanted that Dalek.
Of course I wanted it, but I want money more. But I need money more, I should say. But at the moment, I think whoever was buying it was not really. I think they were messing around because they haven't answered any of my messages or anything. And Deb said after I put it on there, you should have said you shouldn't be selling it. You wanted that Dalek. I said, but I also need the money because Isabella's getting married next year, so we need. It's just one of those things. Yes, of course I want to keep it. But it only lives in my shed. It's been in my shed for about a year and a half, doing absolutely nothing. So, not to say I don't want to do stuff with it, but it's very difficult to move around. I can't fit it in my car, So it's just one of those things. But the Dalek will. Well, it's one of those stories to be added to at a later date, but I don't know exactly. It's got an indefinite future, so we say. But I'll talk about the future. Good segue there. Next time, hopefully next week, we'll see how it goes. We have 2 episodes to review. One is called It Takes You Away, written by Jamie Childs, and the other one is called The Battle of Ranskoor of Kolos, written by Chris Chibnall. Actually, no, the director was Jamie Charles of It Takes You Away. It was actually written by Ed Heim. Now, It Takes You Away I seem to remember adoring, so I'm expecting to adore it again.
It Takes You Away is interesting, yes.
I'm not too sure about the Battle of Ranskoor.
No, Battle of Ranskoor.
Again, we'll watch it with open minds. But
okay, so you want me to pencil those in for this coming Sunday?
Yes.
Okay.
This coming Sunday. So
I will take time to watch them and try not to fall asleep.
All right. Well, apologies again for the big gap. It wasn't deliberate, but occasionally I do.
It's okay, Adam.
If somebody comes in and says, "Oh, can you do a photo shoot?" Like last week, Paul wanted me to do a photo shoot of his equipment in a field, and he was going to pay me £50 for doing so. I've got to say, yeah, please. So things like that sometimes happen on Sundays. I know, I'm just saying. So it can be a short notice thing. We do intend to record, but work gets in the way.
Yeah.
But that's next time. Hopefully next week, like I say. But until then, thank you for listening, taking part, and contributing to the show. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Bye.
The 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production, sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are proud members of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended. The music on this podcast is covered by limited online music license from PRS for Music.